last thing. What does it sing? It's early. To suffer, when we refuse to feel, we suffer the more because our lives become boring and gray. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel, oh, that's when we can't win. Even our body will be rebelling. Sorrow and take a pill. If we think we can cheat sorrow and take a pill, well, if our mind don't rebel, well, then our whole body will. If we think we can cheat sorrow and not feel pain, if we think we can cheat sorrow and avoid pain, we may fool our mind, but our heart won't be fooled again. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel, oh, we can't fall in love, and we can't know our mother. Sorry, and we can't picnic when we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel. We are now saccharin, we are now aspartame, we are now Nesquik. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel, we want to stamp out sweat glands. We want to stamp out natural odor. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel, our voice gets grim and the lines on our face get colder. When we refuse to sex, but was sort of numb. We were just in the rock dressing room upstairs. There's all this rock graffiti. Every rock club in the United States more or less has the same graffiti. It looks like it's all done by a 15-year-old boy. Who just got and signed their first record deal, if they still have such a thing, and they just bought their first issue of Playboy magazine at the same day. Only girls depicted on it. Only female things are depicted by organ parts. Of the male, there's a certain part which is emphasized. Can you guess which one? And I suppose if you refuse to feel, I suppose that's possible. But what I'm talking about, this falling in love thing, just ain't possible. It's gotta hurt folks or leave the opportunity. Here's what I'm saying. Maybe everyone here over 16 years old has had a night where they've been jilted. And if you haven't, you might someday. And it feels like this. Let's say there's a dirty pond out in, say, Waltham or something, with shopping carts in it, right out by the Monsignor O'Brien Highway or something. Then there's stinking dog shit and a bunch of broken glass, and that's where you had to walk home from. Let's say you were jilted. Let's say you saw it happen before your eyes. You could see them falling for someone else. Or they revealed to you that it had been going on for a while. And that moment was registered that night. And you had to walk home that night. The long walk home to your place. And the whole world stank. And you know what? On that night, you wanted the world to stink. Because your heart hurt and you wanted the world to hurt too. You wanted the world to have broken glass and dog shit and cigarettes and squad cars and big sirens, stuff like that. And they were your friends. The cicadas and the dragonflies and the regular flies were all your friends because they were the stinking real world. And you had to feel the real world on that night because your heart hurt. Not just the word hurt anymore. Now your heart hurt like the way a broken cookie hurts when it's being crushed a little. Your heart felt hurt. And you wanted to feel it because you knew that if you didn't feel that night, you might as well just be dead in a coffin. Because if you can't feel that, you'll never feel anything at all. And if you can't live through that, and you want to because your friends come by, they will say, oh, let's watch ESPN. They see you there by the Monsignor O'Brien. Where you go, no, we'll see you another time. Because you've got to be alone. You know why? Because your heart has to understand. Because it hurts and it's asking questions of the rest of you. It's asking, why? It's asking the heavens, why? Why? I was nice. Why me? It's asking the heavens, am I not sexually attractive? It's asking all kinds of pertinent questions that you need to not drown out the answers, severe as they may be. You have to know the truth in that moment. So you can't take Prozac in that moment. You can't refuse to feel. You can't take nothing in that moment. You can't watch sports on TV. You can't do shit. You got to feel right then. That's why. Spent the night in a motel room we hate. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feel, we are now silicone, we are now Lysol, we are now Swiss Miss. When we refuse to suffer, when we refuse to feed. Our whole body becomes boring and gray. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Jonathan, that was wonderful. Thank you. Beautiful show.